and welcome back to my channel. I am so happy that you wanted to join me today because today we are going to talk about second-hand furniture. I have talked a lot on this channel about second-hand fashion and second-hand interior and decor items and kitchen supplies and, you know, small bits and bobs. But I haven't talked in detail about furniture and bigger pieces of interior. So I thought that would be maybe a good idea to talk a little bit about it because I have furnished my entire apartment with second-hand items, and maybe you want to do the same? Maybe you just want a bit of inspiration. In any case, this is the video for you. So let's do this. I stopped buying furniture from real stores because of several reasons. One of the reasons being that stuff you can buy in bigger chain stores and such today are often really bad quality. It's made of chipboard or flakeboard, which means it's not a solid piece of wood, but it's tiny small pieces of wood that is sort of mashed together, and that becomes the wood. And that's really bad quality, and it's also impossible to recycle. So it's going to end in landfill at some point. It's going to degrade and the quality will get worse and worse, and eventually you're going to have to put it in landfill. And I am not for that at all. And older pieces of furniture are made in solid pieces of wood, which means that it's super easy to repurpose, super easy to recycle, and generally just has a better quality to it, and you can have it for a longer period of time. I think everyone knows the feeling when you have to move a piece of IKEA furniture, for instance, like a bookshelf, and you're starting to move it and it just falls apart into a million pieces, because it's not meant to be moved. And that's one of the bigger problems that I see with furniture today, is the pieces that we buy for our homes are so cheap that they are made as though they were disposable. We buy furniture the way that we buy clothes, and we buy all kinds of things in order to use it once and then never again. However, I live in a way that I tend to move quite a lot. Maybe I will move less now, I certainly hope so. But I've moved quite a few times, and I need furniture that can last. Some of the reasons are zero waste related. Some of the reasons for buying secondhand for me actually are based on convenience, because you will have it for a longer period of time and you won't have to replace it. And also there are economical reasons to it as well, because I don't really have the money to buy new pieces of furniture if I can find something just as good secondhand for much cheaper. So that was quite an intro, I'm so sorry. But now I want to get into some of the tips and some of the things that I go for and some of the things I have in mind whenever I buy secondhand furniture. So one of the first things that you will need to look for and focus on when you are looking for furniture in thrift stores, secondhand stores, charity shops, whatever, is quality. I have mentioned this just a few minutes ago, but looking for solid pieces of wood or solid materials rather than combined materials, mixed materials like chipboard or flakeboard is so much better, because you will have these pieces for a longer period of time. Sometimes they are a bit more expensive, but that's because you're getting a real piece of a real piece of something, which is so much more valuable than chipboard. I have chairs and a dining table that would outlive me, which I think is insanely cool. Another thing, I just mentioned that as well, this is just, my intro turned out to be the video. But another thing that's really easy to focus on and really important to focus on is something that you can fix. If it's something that's easy to be fixed, maybe that's also the way to go, because then again you will have it for a longer period of time and it won't end up in landfill. But also looking for something that needs a bit fixing. If there is like a table or a chair that just needs a nail in the back, or maybe just a little paint job, go for that. Sometimes that's a bit cheap as well, but look for the material and then you can look afterwards if it's something that needs fixing. But if the materials are good, you're generally able to fix it for quite cheap. So that's also something that you could consider. I have bought so many things that I needed to fix, or stuff that wasn't perfect when I bought it, but then I DIY'd the heck out of it. I got this IKEA table, this very cheap, just very small little table, and I put tiles all over it, and it wasn't like the best job ever, but I mean, I love it, so that's all that matters. And I mean, I'm not like craftsman or anything, so. And also I built a bench out of pieces of wood that I found in the trash, and I mean, now I have a bench. And if you are under 50-60 kilograms, you can actually sit on it without the bench breaking. Another thing which I found to be super helpful if you're looking for something in particular. When I moved into this apartment, I needed some very specific things, like I needed this kind of chair and I needed like a table of this sort of height. So I joined several of these sale groups on Facebook. And I asked on the sale groups, and they're always really locally bound, either to a specific part of your country or a specific city, and that's really helpful, because then you can easily get the things from A to B, which is cool. And I asked on these groups, do anyone have anything like this for sale? So at local recycling plants, there are usually an area for furniture, and in that area sometimes there tends to be an area for furniture that is still pretty functional. And I have seen, at least I have seen in recycling plants, there's a little sign sometimes that says free, or you can go and grab this piece of furniture for free, which is also pretty cool. So if you live near a recycling plant, maybe that's something that you could think about doing as well. So this is something that I think that I should mention, even though it's not really a problem in Denmark, it is a problem some other places. So bed bugs can be a huge problem in your local area or in your country. I had never ever given bed bugs a single thought whenever I bought secondhand furniture, because it's not a problem here. But then I went to China, and the apartment I moved into had bed bugs in it, and suddenly I just thought about it everywhere. I thought about it everywhere. So if you live in a place where bed bugs are a higher risk than it is where I live, maybe give that a thought before picking stuff off the street or going to recycling plants and whatnot. Because if it's a risk, if it's something that is possibly going to happen, do consider it as well, just FYI. So I'm a really DIY kind of person, and I love putting my personal spin on my furniture and generally on my apartment. So I always have fun, small, homey projects that I want to finish. But whenever I need something that's really specific, I know that the convenient thing, or sometimes even the cheapest thing, is to hit up a hardware store or just go somewhere and buy it in a store. But what I always do before resorting to that convenient option is looking through these apps, looking through these Facebook groups. If you're looking for something really particular, it is actually possible, despite of what you may think, to find it. When I made my tile table, I needed specifically white tiles that were 2.5 centimeters long and wide as well. So really specific measurements and really specific colors. And I ended up finding all the materials that I needed secondhand. And it can be done, but you obviously need to prioritize that process as well. And that is something that we have not grown accustomed necessarily to incorporating into our routines whenever we want to buy something. But it is something that you should consider at least, or prioritize if you have the chance to. And also, if you put more effort into finding each item, they will have a positive association for you. They will, as Marie Kondo would say, spark joy. But they will actually, because you have prioritized it, you have prioritized the process of finding it and keeping it and repairing it perhaps. And that is something that's going to bring so much positive energy to your home. So I do really encourage people to look into secondhand furniture. Cool, I hope that you like this video. If you have ever bought anything secondhand, leave a comment and let me know what's your favorite secondhand item, what is your most recent secondhand item, and if you do not choose to buy secondhand furniture, and if that's not a priority for you, I would love to know why. I would love to know just what kind of priorities you have and why it maybe didn't work for you, because always interested in learning. So thank you so much. I hope you will leave a comment and stay super awesome. Thank you so much for watching this video, and also a special thank you to my Patreon supporters. You guys help me create green zero waste content, and I love you guys. You can find the links to my social media accounts down below and the link to my Patreon on this screen. Bye!